Today on Mastering Military Life, I have Mr. Anthony Watson, who was in the Army for 9 years. He's been out for 17 years, did one deployment, one PCS, and has really mastered the art of discipline beyond service. And Anthony, I am so excited to talk to you today. Being that
Right.
you've been removed from the military and been a veteran for so long, to really give some insight to our individuals who are about to transition out and kind of give them some guidance for how they can find this type of discipline in their work-life balance moving out of the military. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure, of course, to be here.
Don't call me ma'am. We don't ma'am here.
It's that southern hospitality. It's that good old fashioned country bumpkin in me.
I
But no,
love
I
it.
got you.
Where are you from originally?
From Columbia, South Carolina. I
Okay.
know, but I represent my little podunk town. So, but yeah, I'm originally from South Carolina. Did a lot of traveling. I was a military brat, so did some extra traveling that whether I wanted to or not, it was done. But I love my southern roots.
I love it. Wonderful. So Anthony, give me an idea of your service, right? You were in for 9 years, one deployment, one PCS. Can you kind of give us a short rundown of what that experience was like for you in service?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, that was the best experience of my life. And I say that to say I didn't anticipate it. Coming out of high school, my senior year, I actually wanted to either play basketball in college or, well, that's actually what I wanted to do, or go to college for sports medicine. However, senior year, I got to talk to my parents about the opportunity to make money and travel the world. So I got with a recruiter from a buddy of mine who was already in the military and said, "Hey man, you should try it. Just go hear him, hear him out." Which I did. It turned out to be the best experience of my life. Basic training for me kind of defined or helped me define who I was from going from a young man to a young adult. And I wish every 17, 18-year-old in the world can experience that because it teaches you a lot. Not only do you get to travel the world, but you get to have discipline. You get to see different things from different avenues and change your perspective on how the world works. You get to work on trade. So that was one thing that I'll cherish for the rest of my life, just going through the simple things of what's called basic training.
Yeah. Was there a moment in basic training where you kind of had like a big aha moment? What was that?
Well, yeah, a big aha moment for me there was pushing myself to the limits. I always took pride in being very athletic. Played basketball all my life, played football, played this, anything outdoors, that was me. I also had, knowledge of being able to learn things and pushing to the limits. But doing that, when we were in what's called AIT, advanced training, you get to do something called the gas chamber was right before AIT. The gas chamber, the day before that, was my welcome to the military moment, because you hear stories, you hear all of this, all of the horrors, all of that good jazz, but until you get to experience it, it's a different kind of feeling, because you're in a chamber with 10, 20 other people and everything is kosher. You have a drill sergeant there with no protection, no anything at all, who's done this 20 times before you. So you're a little nervous, but going through that let me know that it's an entirely different world. And I think when I came out the gas chamber, that's when I grew one little hair on my chest, like, you know what? I can do this. But prior to that, it was the pushing, and going through that really told me that I can do anything, because now I live my life to the fact of I push to the limits. If I see somebody else do it, it's like, okay, let me learn from that person, take a little bit from you, a little bit from you, and I'm going to ball it up and make it my own thing and be the best version of me that I can. And I learned that at a young age doing that. So it kind of motivated.
Yeah. That's so powerful. It's like that moment where you realize if I can survive the worst pain of my life, the worst discomfort of my life, then I can do anything. And so I should do anything.
In a nutshell, exactly.
That's so powerful. I did not plan on asking you this, but you speak of boot camp so fondly. If someone's listening to this and they're about to go into boot camp, what advice would you give them?
To push yourself beyond what you think you can do, because we all think we know our limits, but after the limits you think you know, there's a different level that you have in you. Anything that's worth doing, or anything that you want to be, for example, outside of your comfort zone, nothing came great while being in your comfort zone. And it takes somebody to push you out of it. It's a saying that I think about all the time. You have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. Does that make sense?
Very
Meaning,
true.
if you want to do, and so that's what I say. If you're going into basic training, just be prepared to push yourself to the limits, because it's gonna mold you into the person, a greater version of yourself. I think
Yeah.
every young man should go through that.
Yeah,
Women too, but I think every young man, because it teaches. I think everybody should just have that little 3 month period, right out of high school, so they can become who they want to be.
You're not insulting me by saying every man, just so you know. I have three boys myself. I make them play football. Why? Because it's fucking hard.
Hmm.
I have one of them took up wrestling this year, and I'm like, it's a man-making sport. I'm like, every single one of my boys should be wrestling. Just
I
to
love it.
face the most difficult thing that you've done in your life. And my boys are privileged, but they sometimes we have to give them adversity so they learn how to overcome adversity. So when they get into the world and they hit adversity, they know what the fuck to do,
That's
right?
exactly what I mean. Exactly. I love
So
that.
discipline has two forms for you. There was the discipline that you had in the service, and then the one that you found beyond the service. What's the difference for you in your mind?
As far as when I was in the service, the discipline, and the now,
Yeah.
scenery. That's it. Because I go throughout my day with the same attitude that I even had back then. Yeah, my mom always said that I grew up fast. I was a single child for a long period of time until my little brother came, but I was already 12 years older than him. But I grew up fast. So I learned things at a faster pace. And my mom always said, "You got an old spirit. I'm 18. While all of my friends are watching the hottest new videos on TV, I'm on the Discovery Channel. I'm learning things about the government. I'm doing the things that's like, well, something's got to be something more to what we're doing. But that helped this discipline. So I have the same mentality then now that I had back then. It's just aging now, if that makes sense.
Did the routine of the military help support instill a different level of discipline, or did you find that as an athlete in high school? Because it sounds like that played a powerful role in you like regimenting yourself and showing up and
Yeah, both. But by being in the military, it kind of honed my discipline and taught me consistency because
mm,
they go hand in hand. A lot of people talk about I got I got goals, or I got years inning, new me, new this, new motivations. Well, Joe Rogan couldn't have said it best. F your motivation. You need discipline. You need consistency because without that, your motivation is temporary. But if you have discipline, discipline to me is doing something that you hate to do, but doing it like you love it because it teaches you something that you don't know. So that's
so it's
how I
like a
treat every
higher
day.
form. It's a higher
Yep.
form of consistency. Because I was just about to ask you in your mind, what is the difference between consistency and discipline?
Doing the repetition. Once you start to do something, it becomes second nature. Like when you drive now, you don't have to think about driving because it comes to you. Same thing with discipline. Once you start to do something repeatedly, it becomes repetition. That consistency is what carries you, not just the discipline. So you need that as a base, but you also need to be consistent in whatever you're doing. I can be the wrongest person in the world, go out and teach somebody the wrongest thing, but if I do it consistently, damn it, I'm gonna be the best wrong person you ever met in your life because I'm gonna believe whatever it is I do, and that comes with being consistent. I treat
Mm.
that with my daily routines, with my career, and I learned that in the military. It's about consistency.
And how do goals play into this?
With my career, I take whatever. Let me just give you an example.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me show you. Every year, I don't know if you can see this. I make one of
Hmm.
these
I love
every
it.
year in December, starting for the next year. Last year, I'm sorry, in 2023, this number was three. I
Mm.
told myself I'm going to be a loan officer that gets three loans a month by March. That was in 2023. I posted this at home. I posted this in the bathroom at home, in my walking area at home. I got this at work on my work desk, and I got it in my office in my work desk. Last year, 2024, that number went from three to five. This year, that number went from five to eight.
Mm.
I have exceeded these goals every year. The new one that I'm going to make at the end of this month for 2026 is going to say 10. And it's about being able to see this subconsciously because you may think it's a little weird, but whenever you manifest things, you don't bring whatever that is that you're manifesting to you. You actually go to it, if that makes sense. So
Mm.
I'm manifesting a world to where this is the truth because I'm seeing it all the time. And that's how I treat the people around me. You're seeing this all the time. So I have this. I have another one that says this. I'm abundantly healthy, abundantly wealthy. And these are the things that my subconscious sees. When I told you about the discipline, I don't just talk it, I live it. So these are the things that are surrounded by me daily, whether I'm at work, in the car, or at home. So my brain is thinking about these even when I'm not. My subconscious is thinking about these when I'm not. This is what I mean by the discipline and the consistency. Every day we wake up to three C's. We have the opportunity for three C's. One is a chance. You woke up, that's your chance to do whatever you want to do. The second one is a choice. God woke you up that morning. Now you have a choice to be who it is that you want to be that particular day. You can rewrite who you are every day. And the third one is consistency. What are you going to do to make yourself 1% better than you were yesterday? Being consistent. So all three of these I see all the time. So it's embedded in my brain about what I need to do to be the better version of me than I was the day before, the year before. If that makes sense.
I love that. There's this amazing overlap of science and faith happening right now, of manifestation, kind of growing consciousness, if you will, the importance of having your goals, right? If you don't know your destination, then when you wake up and apply your discipline, which is your activities, you may not end up in the place where you want to. And they used to talk about
Exactly.
how the Polynesian used to navigate by the stars, right? That doesn't
Yep.
mean that they put their head down and for 30 days they paddled and did their discipline as hard as they possibly could and then looked up and was like, oh crap, I've been going in the wrong direction. If you don't know, if you don't know the destination, if you aren't checking it every single night, what's important to me, what am I moving towards, what is my goal, then you may be thinking you're moving, but you're not moving towards it and it's not moving towards
Yep.
you. And so it
Yep.
requires having, this is I think the most difficult thing that probably a lot of our veterans go through when they transition out, is knowing what you want and
Yes.
taking the time to know what you want and maybe not even questioning why you want it. And I think sometimes you spend a lot of time thinking like, well, why do I want to close 8 deals a month? In the financial wealth conversation, the legacy, you can just want it. That's okay, guys. But step number one in getting what you want is fucking knowing what you want. And
Yep.
then step two is showing up every single day and doing the activities that get you closer to it. And then the second overlap of faith that we're talking about is if faith without works is dead, right? You can
Mm,
believe that you want that all you want,
mm.
right? But if you aren't willing to work for it, if you aren't willing to practice it every single day, I've become a little obsessed with the word practice because I feel like everything is practice at this point. I mean, I can practice being on a podcast, I can practice, closing a loan, I can practice educating military families. Everything is practice, cooking, reading, writing. But if you're not practicing it daily, then you are not working to master it. And so, just know that little overlap there where it's like, hey, you got to first know what you want. You got to believe that it's possible, but then you got to be willing to do the work because faith without work is dead. It's nothing.
You're right about that. You are absolutely right. I spoke to what's today? Thursday, Tuesday. I had a veteran who didn't think he could get a pre-approved for a loan. Reasoning why is he thought that he's been through this process 2 or 3 times before in the past. Credit wasn't where it wanted to be, and he was like, "Well, no, I'm just gonna wait on the process because I've been through this before. I know the routine. Y'all gonna run my credit, tell me I'm not this and that, and nobody's gonna take the time to get me in position." So he was already down and out on his luck. The reason I say that is the hardest part about this process that we go through. It's not the loan. It's not the numbers. It's convincing you that you're worthy of doing it. It's convincing you that this can be you. Because a lot of them think, no, I've been through it before. I don't want to go through it again. And we get discouraged, which is normal. But it takes one conversation, one person that say, hey, you know what? No, I've been there. I've been there. My credit score has been 500 before. No, no, I know what you mean. Let me show you how to get in position. It's not just your credit score is 500. If you can get it fixed, I can help you in 6 months. No, it's not in position. Let me show you how to get it in position. If you do this, this, and this, your credit scores will be 700. So by having those conversations, and now, long story short, he's already in position now to boost his scores. We went through the algorithms to see where he was going to be. I think 28 days from now, his score should be about 640, somewhere around there. But it took somebody just to take the time to show him this could be you. It doesn't have to be what you see on TV or a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Life is always lifing. Something's happening to everybody. But guess what? You got somebody that's been there.
Yeah.
Allow me to help you. So again, that story of a veteran who thought the world was not going to assist him, and here it is. We can. It just takes a conversation. Convincing you is the hardest part. That's
I love that. So if we're talking about the importance of belief, but the importance of discipline, and we're talking about doing discipline is the act of doing the daily activities that actually do, accomplish something, move you closer to a goal. What if people are struggling to figure out what they should be doing? Like, what if they've been rowing and their head has been down? They look up and they're like, I'm nowhere closer to my goal. Like when you've had an obstacle or a goal and you've been applying your discipline, working towards it, but you're not getting any closer, what resources do you kind of tap into to reassess your activities to say, okay, it's great that I'm being consistent, but I'm being consistent in the wrong things. I mean, I can go to the gym all day long, do 1,000 squats a day, and never have six pack abs. I got to be doing the right type of work because it's moving you in the right direction. Is there a process that you go through to kind of reassess, or kind of media that you turn to, reflection, the Bible? I mean, how do you reassess your activities?
No, that's a really good question. I would say I just take a look at what it is that I want to do, or what is it that I'm attempting to accomplish. Because you're right, there's a difference in moving forward and having motion. I can run in place all day and not go anywhere. But
Being
if
busy
I'm
versus
taking
being productive, right?
exactly, and being counterproductive is that's worse than doing nothing, because that means you're going backwards. So if, like in your analogy, if it's the six pack I'm looking for, but like you said, I'm going there and I'm just doing jumping jacks all day, and I'm looking at myself like, why is nothing happening? Then I assess what my routine is daily. What is it that I'm doing that's not causing me to be the better version of me? And that's when I fine tune. I call it going green again. And all of my colleagues know it. Like it's like when you get your first job, or when you get a new job rather, you do everything by the books. You impress everybody there, and your colleagues, your bosses, all they're singing your praises. You're notating everything. You're happy go lucky on the phone, but 5, 10 years go by and it's hello. Or is I'm doing this. You got to get back to going green, being basic. Throw out all of your bad habits. Go back to doing whatever it is you did to get there to keep you there. If you're a sprinter or a runner and you're supposed to be the fastest person in the world, but then they say, hey, it's a guy faster than you. What are you going to do? Change how you run? No, you're going to run faster. You're going to be a better version of you. So it's not about changing your recipe, it's doing it more. So I what I call go green. That's why every year I got those, I go green. I go back to what it was and I increase it. So I don't change the recipe. I just find a way to feed more people. Same pot, I just made it bigger so I can go reach out to more people.
Is there a book that you read that kind of gave you the ideas of doing the cards so you had like very clear vision of what your goal was? Or what was the first year that you were like, I need to do this? What inspired that?
It's multiple things. But is there a book? Yes. It's called Being a Rhino.
When did you read that book?
2 years ago. It was given to me by my mentor, by my branch manager, and he said, it's an easy read. It's not 200-300 pages. It's an easy read about teaching you how to have thick skin like a rhinoceros. A rhinoceros is fearless. They're not scared of anything. They're not scared of any challenges. They step up to the plate. So learning that, it taught me one of the chapters to write down short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term lifetime goals. Hence why I wrote the little snippets that's in one of the chapters as well. But I wrote that based off of that book, and it's a testament. It really manifests the things that you want if you do exactly what it is that you're looking for. It's only two. It's only two reasons in this world, Lauren, things don't happen for you. It's only two. One, it's not for you. Or two, you're not doing enough or being consistent enough at it. That's it. And when I learned that, it's like, oh my God, the world is y'all messed up. Getting my mind together. Because now it's like I'm changing my perspective of everything. And a lot of people don't know, if you have problems per se or things that bog you down, when you change your perception of it, a lot of the problems change themselves or fix themselves.
Mhm.
When I learned that, it was no turning back because
They
it made a difference.
disappear. They disappear. Man, mindset is so important. So if someone is struggling with finding their discipline,
Mhm.
go reading this book, Being a Rhino, using that to set some short term, some midterm, and some long-term goals would be a great place to start because then you just break your goals backwards, right? My goal is to have a six pack. To me, you gotta educate yourself. What do the guys that have six packs do, right? They eat right, they're doing these workouts. Look
Yep.
at the guys at the gym, right? There are people all around us. But then also, how do we then show up every single day and do that for ourselves? And something that I found being a business owner is that motivation is dead without inspiration, and our
Mm.
goals are tied to inspiration. One of the worst activities that we see right now in our world is rolling over and picking up your phone and scrolling through your phone. And we're just being bombarded with our mindset of all these things that we don't control, even they may be things you
Mhm.
love. Maybe your algorithm is so much better than mine. Maybe it's not how awful the world is. Maybe it's all these cooking videos that you love. But what you're also doing
Mm.
is you're just using that really powerful mindset time to kind of lull yourself into a sense of complacency. So
Very
last
true.
year, I put a lot of my ambassadors through this. I called it 30 KFG. And, I just could feel the market was weighing on them. They needed to be re-inspired. And so I gave them this tool. I gave them this video. I said, when you wake up every single morning, I want you to roll over, get your phone, put on your headphones. I don't want you to look at your screen. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to listen to this video. And it's
Mm,
a 8-minute video. It has over like 22 million views on YouTube. And it's called Unbroken Motivation. I'll link it in the show notes.
yeah,
And
please.
it is so powerful to get you re-inspired as to what matters in your life. It's just all these really powerful movie quotes, ones that you probably recognize, people from history, things like that. But that inspiration anchored them back in their goals of like, today's gonna matter. I'm gonna make the choice that my activities today makes a difference. They bring me closer to my goals. And just that simple mindset shift, you just saw people in that little 8 minutes of being inspired first thing in the morning, just completely shifting their daily activities. So, question, what is your morning routine?
My morning routine is and it's funny you say that because the wife thinks I'm like a robot. Like even on my days off, I don't need my alarm clock to get up, even though it's set, because my mind already has that eternal, oh, something's we got to be doing something. So I get up in the morning about 4:30 and go ahead, shower, brush teeth, get all that stuff going, and I go into the office to see what starts the day. Meaning, I have a home office and an office, but I go to the home office, have my coffee, and I see what needs to be done. I mean, I go in there, take a look at emails, take a look at what projects I need to work on that day. And these are days that we aren't going to the gym or whatnot. Probably 2 or 3 days out of the week, we'll get up in the morning, go to the gym, and then I'll do all this routines. But it's pretty methodical as far as the routines. Some would say boring as far as because no matter what day it is, I can be off, but it's in my mind to get up, do this, move here, do that, see what needs to be done to get the day going.
Well, success is all the unsexy stuff, right? The hard thing is knowing what you
And that's
want,
true. Exactly. And it pays everybody.
identifying the activities to get yourself there. And then the hardest part is following through on them. I mean, most of us know if we want to lose 10 pounds, we should eat better. We should walk after every meal. We should go to the gym, right? We know that we have the goal of losing 10 pounds, but it's the following through every single day to get them. That's where the discipline comes
That's
in.
the part. That's the part.
What advice would you have for someone who feels like they are in an undisciplined space right now? Maybe they're not in the mindset of, being productive and accomplishing. Maybe they're feeling a little bit complacent.
Mm. Oh yeah, complacency. I would say evaluate self first. See what it is what's your why? Everybody has people don't really get to the bottom of their why until you ask them the third or fourth time. It's like saying, hey, how was your day? Good. What how's your life going? It's going. When you get to that third one, then you start to get to the nitty gritty. So I would say find out what it is that you want. Find out what it is. Are you content with yourself? When we look at each other in the mirror and see ourselves, do you like the person you're seeing back? And if the answer is no, do something about it. One of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite mantras in the world when it comes to your life, your personal life, whether it be work, your personal work life, your personal life at home, your marriage, your relationship, family, whatever have you, what you're not changing, you're choosing. And when I heard that, it was like, oh my God. Because there's a lot of things in the world we cannot change. But when it comes to you, what you're not changing, you're choosing. So when I'm sitting eating pizza and I know I want to go to the gym, but I'm not, I'm choosing that. When I'm sitting at work, filling thumbs and when I could be note taking counts, I'm choosing that. So what you're not changing, and when it comes to you, you're choosing.
Are there things that you've given up or quit doing because you feel like it's a distraction to your discipline?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Which is a consistent change, should I say? When I first got in the industry, there are a lot of things that I changed as far as habits. I like to make people laugh. I like to have a good time, but in a positive way, nothing absurd. But I changed a lot of the way I want to be perceived as a business person. As one, for example, weekly, I try to at least make 3 posts, for example, like on social media. Monday, I'll try to do something factual, something about programs, things of that nature. Midweek, I'll lighten it up. Friday, I want to do maybe a joke or something with the business and or outside of the business, just to keep people entertained while also reminding people what it is that I do. But before that, I would just kind of, post sports or post whatever, debates about sports, things of that nature. But I realized that if I wanted to elevate what I'm doing in my personal life and or business, that I did have to change behaviors or curb things or change my disciplinary acts, because it's different in being a business person and being a business, if that makes sense. So yeah, I still change things to this day, just whatever suits me to level up to that next level.
What's a goal that you have for 2026?
A goal I have for 2026 is to help 10 families a month. That's one goal, to be able to be more relevant and purposeful when it comes to reaching out to people. I want to do more seminars. I want to get more people involved, even if it's not, it doesn't translate into, say, for example, loans. It's just the education. We have a lot of tools that we can use to help people out. Sometimes you don't know, but we have tools to get you there. So my goal is to reach more people, more families, just educate more and more.
I love that. What's the last podcast you listened to?
Oh, that's very funny. I don't know the name of it this morning. I listen to them all the time. I do not know the name of it, but the one before that that I listened to was a Joe Rogan podcast, only because he talks about a lot of the strange stuff that I personally have to believe in. Like, I wonder if the world is flat around, or I wonder about this whistleblower. So he does a lot of that. So that was the last one I listened to yesterday. I can't remember the name of the one this morning. But I love listening to podcasts and just hearing different views, seeing what makes a person tick or how they think. Because to me, it's almost like we don't know who's right, who's wrong, but everybody is my friend. Everybody is my brother or sister until you're not. I don't judge anybody by their personal beliefs, by their this, by that. I judge you by how you treat you and those around you. So those are I love to hear podcasts like that, just how different people think. That's what I think of success is. It's not about how much money you have. It has no monetary value attached to it. Success is the mark you leave on everybody around you. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on Mastering Military Life. Hopefully, this podcast is going to serve many active duty, many veterans who are kind of struggling in that in between of finding routine and finding discipline, give them the right mindset to reach success. I mean, that is really our vision with our time here today. So thank you so much
Yes.
for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me, ma'am. And I look forward to many more conversations and many more veterans or active duty that, can use our assistance or just the knowledge. So I look forward to it.
I love it. All right. Thank you, my friend.
No problem. You have a good day too.